I'm Peter Reinhardt. I'm co-founder and CEO at Charm Industrial, and we work on carbon removal. If we look at total global emissions of carbon dioxide and methane, we basically have overshot our budget now. And so carbon removal as an industry is trying to go back and take the CO2 out of the atmosphere, not so that we can keep emitting, but because we've overshot and we have to remove the historical stuff that we already emitted. By 2050, we need to be, as an industry, operating at about 10 billion tons a year of removal from the atmosphere. It's a staggering amount of material. This is a physically feasible thing to do, but it is a very hard execution problem. The charm process is that we take agricultural residues, which are things like corn stalks and leaves and cobs that otherwise just rot in the field. We take that material and we cook it. So imagining taking like a leaf and tossing it on a pan, and you see like the sizzle and the smoke that comes off of it. That's basically what we do in our reactor. So we vaporize biomass, and then that vapor, that sort of campfire smoke, if you will, we condense into liquid smoke. It is literally the liquid smoke that is flavor in barbecue sauce. And then we can inject that liquid smoke deep underground, way below the water table, like deep, thousands of feet down into old oil and gas reservoirs, where it sinks and solidifies. I guess it's sort of a uniquely American solution to pump barbecue sauce underground. You now have a material that has literally locked itself into a sandstone layer like 3,000 to 10,000 feet below the surface. We expect it to effectively be permanent. Our buyers today for carbon removal are like Microsoft, Stripe, Shopify, companies that have either made net zero commitments to like zero out their net emissions, or companies that just want to have a really positive philanthropic impact on accelerating a key industry. If you're a software company like Microsoft, for example, I think you have three constituents that really care about positive impact on the climate. One is the employees. So if you want to recruit the best talent, like people want to know that they're going to have a good impact on the world. So best talent often is going to places that are making net zero commitments and taking meaningful action. The second is customers. Customers now are showing with their feet that they want to buy products that are good for the environment. And then the third is investors. The net zero commitment is often something that's made to investors as well. And then it becomes something that almost probably needs to be reported on in public filings, quarterly reports, etc. So all of those forces push companies towards making net zero commitments and fulfilling them with reductions and also some component of carbon removal. There's a huge potential for job transition. We have farm operations where we're pulling biomass. So we've got farm jobs and farm revenue. And then we go into oil field operations where we put it back down the wells that people have been operating for forever, pulling oil out. And so when you look at where the money really flows coming out of the back of a charm carbon removal, it's really flowing to farms and to oil and gas field operations. Not the oil majors, but the like actual people whose livelihood was like going and pumping oil. We have a number of ex-oil and gas folks on the team today. Our head of field operations, Katie, was previously a drilling engineer in the Permian. Our geologist was previously a petroleum geologist. For our first sort of class of field operations, which we're spinning up next year, I think many of them will come out of oil and gas field operations, as well as farm operations. I'm hopeful because there is so much really cool and awesome technology in the pipeline. The main challenge is going to be getting them from being in the pipeline of development to deployment. I do want to call on the industry as a whole and people outside the industry to come join and help the industry execute. The amount of growth that has to happen is just staggering. And so, yeah, let's go put the carbon back underground.